Ever liked a woman so much that every message you send feels important, yet she doesn't respond? You send her a thoughtful text, and then you wait. You stare at the screen, hoping to see those typing dots, but nothing. Silence. Then you check your social media. She's active, she's posting, maybe even replying to others, but not to you. It stings, doesn't it? You start to question everything. Did I say something wrong? Was I too eager, too available? You begin to overanalyze. Every conversation, every emoji, every delay in your last text. You replay it all in your mind, trying to find where it went off track. But here's something you need to hear clearly. Stop. Breathe. Her ignoring you is not about you. It's about her. And the best part? You can turn this exact situation into your greatest advantage. In this video, we're diving deep into the Stoic mindset. A powerful way to reclaim your emotional control, stay grounded, and become the kind of man who doesn't get shaken by silence, rejection, or emotional games. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to flip the script, respond with strength, and come out more confident than ever before. Let's start with something many men don't realize. Women test you. Not always consciously, but it happens. Ignoring you, pulling back, or going silent can be a way to see how you'll respond. Will you panic? Will you double text? Will you get angry or chase her harder? Here's the truth. If you respond emotionally, if you let it rattle you, the power shifts. But if you stay calm, composed, and centered, you win. Not just in the interaction with her, but in life. This is where the Stoic approach becomes a game changer. See, Stoicism teaches us that we can't control the behavior of others. We can't force someone to text us back, to like us, or to see our worth, but what we can control, always and without exception, is our response, our thoughts, our emotions, our actions. So when she ignores you, the question is not, why is she doing this? The better question is, how will I respond? Because here's something powerful to remember. When you wait by your phone, refreshing your messages, checking if she's seen it, wondering what you did wrong, you're giving her full control over your state of mind. You're handing away your energy. You're letting someone else decide how you feel, but you don't have to. Instead, imagine this. She doesn't respond, and you simply move on with your day. You focus on your goals, you hit the gym, you improve your craft, you connect with friends, you grow, you elevate. That's real power. That's what Stoicism is about, not being cold or heartless, but being unshakable. Because let's face it, maybe she's busy, maybe she's confused, maybe she's unsure of what she wants, or maybe she's just not that interested. But none of those things define your worth. None of those things should dictate how you show up in your life. The world is full of variables you can't control, but your reaction, that's always in your hands. So what do you do when a woman ignores you? You don't chase, you don't complain, you don't beg for attention. You level up. You become the kind of man who doesn't need external validation to feel whole. You become the man who values his time, his energy, and his mission above temporary silence. You become a man who operates from abundance, not scarcity. A man who knows that being ignored isn't rejection, it's redirection. It's life's way of removing distractions and helping you focus on what truly matters. You respond with maturity. You take space. You move forward. If she circles back later, you decide from a place of strength whether she deserves your energy. Not from a place of need, but from a place of clarity. This isn't about playing games. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about actually building a mindset so strong, so grounded, that you don't need to pretend, because you truly are unbothered. That's the Stoic path. That's emotional intelligence in action. So the next time you feel that urge to double text, to obsess, to spiral, pause, step back, remember who you are. And remember that your power lies not in being chosen by someone else, but in choosing yourself every single time. And that, right there, is how you flip the script. Before anything else, you need to understand one fundamental principle of Stoicism. There's a clear distinction between what you can control and what you can't. You can't control whether she responds. You can't control what she thinks, what she's doing, or why she's being distant, but you can control how you respond. You control your emotions, your reactions, your energy, and that is everything. So what do you do when she ignores you? You do nothing. Yes, you heard that right. Nothing. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games. It's not about ignoring her out of spite or trying to win by pretending not to care. This is about reclaiming your power, about showing yourself and the world that your emotional stability doesn't depend on someone else's attention. When you do nothing, you take the power back. You demonstrate calm, unshakable confidence. You show that her behavior, whether it's silence, ghosting, or pulling away, doesn't control you. It may feel like you're losing control when she stops responding. That anxious feeling in your chest, that sense of confusion or panic, that's normal, but this is exactly where your stoic power begins, because while the external situation is out of your hands, your internal world is yours to command. And here's where most men go wrong. They start to chase. They double text. They send long emotional messages asking, "Why aren't you replying?" Or worse, they send angry texts that only push her further away. These reactions scream desperation. They send the message that your emotional state is entirely dependent on her validation. That's the opposite of strength. That's the opposite of Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us to maintain our composure and our self-respect, no matter what happens around us. It's about dignity, about inner control, about showing that you are enough, with or without a reply. So instead of chasing, stay still. Let the silence sit. When you don't flinch in the face of rejection or ambiguity, she will notice. And, more importantly, you'll feel it too. You'll feel the quiet strength that comes from not reacting, not begging, not losing your center. Let's say you've been texting back and forth. Things seemed good. Then suddenly nothing. She disappears. No explanation, no warning. You feel tempted to send that follow-up message, to ask what's going on, to try and make her explain. But you don't. You let it be. Not because you're cold, but because you're in control. You have a life. You have a mission, and your time is too valuable to waste trying to decode someone else's silence. When you don't respond with more neediness, you show her something rare. You show her that you're different, that you're not another guy hoping for her attention. You're a man in control of his emotions, grounded, balanced, focused. Think about a time when you were ghosted. After a great date or a deep conversation, you thought everything was going well, then suddenly, silence. Most guys panic, most guys try to fix it, but what if instead you went quiet too? What if instead of chasing, you hit the gym, worked on your goals, focused on yourself? Not only would that build your self-confidence, but it would also shift your energy back where it belongs, on you. That's how you grow, that's how you win, and if she doesn't come back, so what? You've already moved forward, you've already leveled up. Her silence becomes irrelevant compared to the progress you've made. Step 1. Shift the focus back. To you, this is your first and most important step. Instead of obsessing over her silence, redirect every ounce of that attention and energy toward yourself. Her ignoring you isn't a dead end, it's a doorway, a chance to grow, to evolve, to improve. Use it, invest in yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, get to work. Start with your body, hit the gym, get serious about your health, build a routine that challenges you and keeps you sharp. Push yourself to become stronger, not just for her, but for you. Then turn to your mind. Read, learn, build a skill, launch that side project you've been putting off. Grow your career, deepen your knowledge, expand your income, chase your vision, not her. And finally, don't forget joy. Dive into your hobbies, reconnect with your passions, spend time with people who energize you and value you. Surround yourself with those who recognize your worth. Because here's the truth. The more you focus on your growth, the more her silence fades into the background. And as you level up, something else happens. Your self-worth rises. Your confidence builds. You begin to walk differently, think differently, speak differently. And yes, people notice, including her, because women aren't drawn to men who chase with desperation. They're drawn to men on a mission, men who are rooted in purpose, men who are fulfilled on their own and don't need validation to feel whole. Think about the times in your life when you were locked in, really locked in, on a goal. Maybe you were getting in shape, building something important, or learning a new craft. During those moments, you weren't stressing about texts. You weren't waiting for someone's approval. You were too focused on becoming the best version of yourself. That's the energy. That's the mindset. When you embody that, everything shifts. People are drawn to it. Opportunities open up. And yes, sometimes the same woman who ignored you comes back, wondering what changed, why you're different, why you're suddenly more attractive. But here's the beauty of it. By that time, you might not even care, because you've already become someone stronger, someone who no longer depends on outside attention to feel valuable. And that's the ultimate freedom. Now that you've grounded yourself in the core of Stoicism, learning to control your response and redirect your focus, the next level of emotional mastery is subtle but powerful. It's called reverse psychology. And when applied the right way, it can completely shift the dynamic between you and the woman who's ignoring you. Now let's clear something up right away. This isn't about playing games. This isn't manipulation. This is about energy, how you carry yourself, how you respond when you're being tested, and how your behavior naturally commands respect without you ever needing to ask for it. Reverse psychology in dating is often misunderstood. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not or acting cold just to provoke a reaction. It's about sending a clear, calm message. I'm not chasing, I'm not desperate, I'm good. Either way. When she ignores you, the average guy panics. He double texts, he starts overthinking, maybe even confronts her, asking why she's pulling away. That kind of energy is reactive, and it only reinforces her power in the situation. But when you apply reverse psychology the Stoic way, you flip the script without ever raising your voice, sending a follow-up, or trying to win her back. Here's what it looks like in practice. She goes silent. You've texted once, maybe twice, and she doesn't reply. It's tempting to reach out again, to explain yourself, to check in. Don't. Instead, you do nothing. You pull back, not with resentment, not with bitterness, but with calm, confident detachment. You don't go quiet to punish her. You go quiet because you're focused on better things. You respect yourself enough not to beg for anyone's attention. And here's the twist. While you ignore her, you continue to live fully. Post a story at the gym, share something from your latest project, go out with friends, build your life publicly. But not for her, not to get a reaction, but because you're genuinely living well regardless of who's watching. This subtle move, the quiet pullback paired with visible self-growth, is powerful. She expected you to chase. She thought you'd double down, start questioning, try to win her back, but you didn't. You just disappeared with purpose. Now she's left wondering, why isn't he chasing me? Did he lose interest? Is he talking to someone else? Has he already moved on? And guess what? That curiosity is far more powerful than any follow-up text you could have sent. This is where the emotional tables turn. Because you're not seeking validation, she begins to seek yours. And when she eventually reaches out, and often she will, here's how you respond. Calmly, casually, with zero tension. You don't bring up her silence. You don't ask what happened. You just talk like everything's normal because you've already moved through the hardest part, detaching your sense of worth from her attention. By doing this, you shift the entire dynamic. You're not needy, you're not reactive, you're composed. You've stayed in control of your emotions the entire time, and she can feel it. That's the power of reverse psychology, not as a manipulative tool, but as a natural consequence of true self-respect. It's not about who texts first. It's about who maintains their inner center. It's about emotional leadership. When you stay cool in the face of uncertainty, you radiate a rare kind of confidence. And that's something people notice, consciously or not. So when she goes silent, don't react. Instead, take a step back. Focus on your own energy. Let your silence speak louder than your words. And when the moment comes, respond. Not to win her over, but because you chose to engage again. That's real control. That's real attraction. That's the kind of mindset that doesn't just change your relationships, it transforms your entire life. Let's talk about one of the most critical and misunderstood elements of masculine strength: calmness. When a woman ignores you, most men make the same mistake. They lose their cool, they become anxious, frustrated, or even angry. And let me tell you, this is exactly what you want to avoid, because when you lose your composure, you hand over all the power. She doesn't need to say a word. She can feel your emotional imbalance. And that imbalance becomes her leverage. That's not attractive, that's not strength, but there's another path, a better path, the Stoic path. The Stoic response is simple, but incredibly effective. Stay calm, stay grounded, be unbothered. No matter what she's doing or not doing, your emotional state stays intact. This isn't about pretending you don't care. It's not about acting indifferent. It's about genuinely owning your inner world and not letting someone else's silence shake your sense of peace. When you master this level of self-control, everything changes. Not only do you feel better, you become more attractive, because calm confidence is rare. It's powerful. It speaks volumes without saying a word. And people, especially women, gravitate toward those who are steady, centered, and emotionally mature. So the next time she ignores you, resist the urge to act on emotion. Don't send that impulsive text. Don't ask why. Don't spiral. Instead, take a deep breath, step back. Remind yourself her actions do not define your worth. Choose calmness over chaos. Go for a long run. Throw on your favorite music. Dive into a meaningful project. Shift the focus away from her and back where it belongs, on you. That's how you win, not by reacting, but by staying in control. You're not at the mercy of anyone's attention. You are the one driving your emotional experience. And when she sees that her silence didn't affect you the way she expected, that's when the power shifts. That's when she begins to wonder what makes you different. Step 4. Detach from the outcome. Now we arrive at the ultimate move in the Stoic playbook: detachment. Detach from whether she texts back. Detach from whether she likes you. Detach from needing her validation. This is true power. When you stop caring about the outcome, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that traps so many people in modern dating. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means emotional independence. It means your well-being is no longer tied to someone else's actions. If she responds, great. If she doesn't, you're still good. That's freedom. And freedom is attractive because when you detach from the outcome, you stop trying to control things that were never yours to control. You stop chasing, you stop waiting, you stop overanalyzing, and instead, you start living. You reclaim your time, your focus, your emotional energy. Ask yourself, how many times have you been overly attached to how something turns out? A date, a conversation, a job interview. And what happened every time? The more you obsessed, the more anxious you became. The more pressure you put on the situation, the worse it felt. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine going into every interaction without fear, without pressure, without needing anything in return. That's detachment. You show up with presence, with strength, and you let go of everything you can't control. And here's the beautiful irony: when you detach, you often get more of what you want, because people are drawn to those who don't need them, who aren't trying to impress, who aren't seeking constant reassurance. You become someone worth chasing, not because you played a trick, but because your energy is magnetic. This is where you win. Let's bring it all together. When a woman ignores you, most guys fall apart. They overthink, they chase, they react, they lose control. But not you, because now you have the tools, you have the mindset, you have the knowledge to flip the script. You've learned that you don't chase. You do nothing, because your value isn't tied to someone's attention. You use reverse psychology by calmly pulling back, not with bitterness, but with unshakable self-respect. You stay calm and unbothered because your emotions belong to you, not to someone else's behavior. You detach from the outcome because your peace is more important than anyone's validation. And when you do all of this, you become a different kind of man. You become the man who doesn't react, he leads. You become the man who doesn't panic, he builds. You become the man who doesn't seek approval, he gives approval to himself. That's the man she notices. That's the man the world respects. And that's the man you're becoming. So if this message hit home for you, don't just sit on it. Take action. Subscribe to this channel. Drop a comment and share your story, because you're not alone. And most importantly, join a growing community of men who are done reacting and ready to rise. Because this isn't just dating advice, this is a mindset, this is a transformation. This is your path to becoming the man you're meant to be. Start now. Start today. Be unshaken.